Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're all doing well today. Thank you for joining me for our daily meditation readings. Um, just before we get started, I just kind of want to say something that I came in contact with yesterday, and it really bothered me to the point where I feel like I need to say something about it. Now, obviously, as you can see, I'm a bigger girl. I actually have always kind of been, I don't want to say huge, but to give you an example, I'm 5'2", and I've always been about 170, 180 my entire life. And I always felt like I was super huge and constantly trying to lose weight and everything. And during the quarantine, I actually gained 60 pounds. So I'm bigger than I've ever been. Even when I was pregnant with my kids, I weigh more now. So, with that being said, though, I'm not really a sensitive kind of person. Obviously, I know I'm fat. I know I'm bigger than I've ever been. So, when I run into people that know me from a while ago and they're like, wow, Jamie, you gained a lot of weight, I'm like, I know. It doesn't really bother me. But, um, and I've never thought about this before, but yesterday, now I have a coworker who's also chubby, and she was asking me if I'd be interested in going to yoga with her. My boss turns around, and which, by the way, I absolutely love him. He's the absolute best boss I've ever had in my entire life, and I don't think that he meant this in a bad way. But here's the problem. He turned around and he goes, yeah, you guys need to do that. In a joking way. He's like, yeah, you guys need yoga. Now there's a language barrier. He's from a different country. And I said to him, well, do you know what that is? Do you know what yoga is? And right then and there, he kind of stopped and, was felt stupid, I think, questioned himself. And he says, yeah, exercise, right? So I said, well, yeah, but there's different kinds of yoga. Some of them deal more on mental health and breathing techniques and stretching and that kind of thing, where other yoga can be exercise and more vigorous. I said, but what makes you think you can tell us we need exercise? So he's like, no, I didn't say you need exercise. I said, well, yeah, you said that we need yoga. And when I asked what yoga was, you said it was exercise. So you're saying we need exercise. So now he knows what he said, but he sees that I didn't just laugh it off. I'm confronting him on what he said. So he's backtracking and totally changed the subject. And this just got me thinking, you know, that's the way society is. Let's everybody joke about the fat girl or the fat people or whatever. And like I said, I don't want to come off as bitter. Obviously, I know I'm fat. I know this. It does not bother me, seriously. But what if I said, yo, did you ever think about getting a nose job? Your shit is hella big. Would that be as acceptable? No. I just don't understand when it became acceptable to comment on other people's bodies, weight, looks, lifestyle, anything. Who are you? And when did that become acceptable? And I just think, we need to really sit and assess and become aware of what we accept in our life. And I'm sure there's things that I do that I think are acceptable that is totally inappropriate. Just because that's what society taught us. And it's so fucked up. What really got to me more than anything was two things. Number one, how do you know when you're saying something like that? Maybe you're pointing out an insecurity that person never even thought of, but now you brought it to their attention and they're going to obsess about it. Or worse, How do you know that person doesn't already obsess about it, cry themselves to sleep, starve themselves, and then you just threw it in their face? Like, thank God I'm the type of chick that will laugh with you and be like, I know, I gained so much weight. Like, I know that. But what if I wasn't? Like, that's what really pissed me off. And my coworker kind of just sat there and she didn't say anything. What if she was the type to self harm or go home and cry herself to sleep? Like, who are you? Guys, if you're doing this, please stop. Please stop. It's disgusting, it's inappropriate, and it should not be acceptable. And, myself too, I need to sit and start to be aware of things I do and say and joke about, that may not be appropriate as well. But I noticed that a lot. Like my cook the other day, I'm a waitress, by the way, I work in a restaurant. And the cook and I are really cool. He's from Mexico. And I guess he was on the phone with his sister. And he turns and he's like, I'm talking to my sister. She's chubby too. I thought his next thing was going to be, do you know her? Like, why is that something that you feel the need to share with me? I don't understand that. Like, where does that come from? I would never say that to somebody. I don't know. This is a very long-winded, but it's something that I had to get off my chest. So sorry for the rant, but guys, please. And if this is not you, kudos to you. Keep doing well. And if this is somebody doing this to you, call them out. Call them out on it. If they have the balls enough to bring that up and say something, fucking embarrass them. Question them. Excuse me, what did you mean by that? Excuse me, why did you think that was okay to comment on? Like, have you looked in the mirror? Say that to them. Don't feel bad about it. They didn't feel bad about saying what they just said to you. Guys, we have to stop this behavior. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to read my meditations. But, yeah, guys, it's disgusting. Stop. All right. It is February 11th, Friday. And I'm going to start off with Just for Today by Narcotics Anonymous. We're on page 43. And the title of today's reading is A Curse into a Blessing. Active addiction was no picnic. Many of us barely came out of it alive. But ranting against the disease, lamenting? I don't know. I'm a little... Help me out with that one, guys. Lamenting. Lamentating? I don't know. What it has done to us. Pitying ourselves for the condition it has left us in. These things can only keep us locked in the spirit of bitterness and resentment. The path to freedom and spiritual growth begins where bitterness ends, with acceptance. There is no denying the suffering brought by addiction. Yet it was this disease that brought us to Narcotics Anonymous. Without it, we would neither have sought nor found the blessing of recovery. In isolating us, it forced us to seek fellowship. In causing us to suffer, it gave us the experience needed to help others. Help no one else was so uniquely suited to offer. In forcing us to our knees, addiction gave us the opportunity to surrender to the care of a loving higher power. We would not wish this disease of addiction on anyone, but the fact remains that we addicts already have this disease, and further, that without this disease, we may never have embarked on our spiritual journey. Thousands of people search their whole lives for what we have found in Narcotics Anonymous: fellowship, a sense of purpose, and conscious contact with a higher power. Today, we are grateful for everything that has brought us this blessing. Just for today, I will accept the fact of my disease and pursue the blessing of my recovery. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree with that reading. While you're going through your addiction and you're out of your mind, it doesn't seem like a blessing at all. But once you find your way out, You notice that you have all this knowledge of things that other people may not have. And I always say this because this absolutely was the number one thing that helped me start to heal my trauma and pain. And it was realizing that, yeah, I went through all this really shitty stuff and couldn't really put a finger on why or what the point of it was. And I just always had this woe is me feeling constantly, like, nothing ever good happens to me. I really wish I had this kind of family, or blah, 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 whatever. This is why I continue to use. This is why I continue to drink. That was all I ever said. And one day, I don't remember where I got this information from, and it's really simple information if you think about it. Like, it's not some complex, crazy shit. It's simple information, and it's a simple concept. But sometimes you need somebody to tell you, and that was the case with me. I don't remember where I heard it from. Probably a YouTube video or a spiritual, a teacher. But they were saying how, yes, you went through all that stuff, and now you have this experience to walk somebody else through it that may need you to. And I just am a true believer in that. Like, my career choice that I'm thinking about going towards, social work, like, absolutely my experiences that I went through will help me in that department. So yeah, once you think about it like that, it's really a lot easier. So I absolutely agree with that. Just looking over here, a few things. Yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think down below. It's always good to have a little reminder. That's what I feel like that reading was about. Now we're going to jump over to The Language of Letting Go by Melanie Beatty. February 11th is page... Oops, there we go. 40. Divinely Led. Ooh, I like this title. Let's see. The good news of surrendering ourselves and our life to a power greater than ourselves is that we came into harmony with a grand plan, one greater than we can imagine. We are promised divine guidance if we ask for it, if we work the 12 steps. What greater gift could we receive than knowing our thoughts, words, and actions are being directed? We aren't a mistake, and we don't have to control or repress ourselves or others for life to work out. Even the strange, unplanned, and painful, those things we call errors, can evolve into harmony. See what I was saying? See how it all comes together? I absolutely love this book, paired with the Just for Today. It goes so well. We will be guided into understanding what we need to do to take care of ourselves. We will begin to trust our instincts, our feelings, and our thoughts. We will know when to go, to stop, to wait. We will learn a great truth. The plan will happen in spite of us, not because of us. I pray today and each day that my thoughts, words, and actions may be divinely led. I pray that I can move forward in confidence, knowing my steps are guided. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. Absolutely. Every single day on my drive to work, that's one of the main things that I ask God. God, please walk with me today. Give me the wisdom. Give me the words. And, lead me, please. Because if I lead myself, I'll probably end up in a ditch. All right, so we're going to do our little bonus reading today, 365 Days of Kindness. And we're going to go once again to February 11th. Restoration. My friends, if anyone is detected into a transgression, you who have received the Spirit should restore such a one in a spirit of gentleness. Take care that you yourselves are not tempted. Galatians chapter 6, verse 1. There are a number of players in a courtroom. There are prosecutors, defendants, witnesses, clerks, the jury, and finally the judge. Everyone has their part to play, but the judge ultimately has the final say. Friends, Jesus doesn't require us to be the judge in any circumstance. God reserves that right. When you are faced with others doing wrong, instead of pinning a judgment on their actions or attitude, come alongside them in love and gentleness and help guide them to restoration. Don't be tempted to join them in their troubles. Be the person who graciously helps them turn away. Act of kindness today. Send an encouraging email. Guys, does that not tie in with what I started today's video with? Don't go along with these people because it's acceptable. Turn them away. Don't judge them, though. I kind of judged them. I said they were disgusting and inappropriate, which I still stand behind. Sorry, God. But that's just crazy to me. Like, you see what I mean? Do you see, like, when you work on yourself and strengthen your relationship with God, and, like, it's so crazy how everything comes together and makes sense. Like, you will be shown signs all over the place, and I don't know, that those readings today just all kind of binded together and showed me that I'm on the right path. So, yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today. Please let me know down below what you got out of today's readings, thoughts, and all that. Let me know if you guys ever been in a position where somebody has said something to you that was totally inappropriate and that they were fine with saying. And remember our act of kindness today. We need to send an encouraging email out. Also, guys, keep those people accountable. It's not nice. It's not acceptable. And we need to turn this world around. Let's make it a better, more positive place to live. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you here again tomorrow. Today's a good day for a good day. And yeah, guys, bye.